Right, so in the internal we're about to do, we need to be able to use 3 different types of spectra, which are going to be graphs with some information, to determine what an unknown organic compound is. Usually when you do these, you'll start with infrared, so that's why I'm doing this video first on infrared, because it's usually our starting point. Infrared spectroscopy, what it does is infrared light is passed through a sample of our unknown compound, and infrared light will be absorbed at different amounts by different chemical bonds. So for example, a carbon-oxygen that is bound, so a COH bond, will absorb a different wavelength of infrared to, for example, a carbon-hydrogen bond, and that would be different to, say, a carbon-oxygen-carbon bond for something like an ester, that sort of thing. So the different bonds, and particularly things like nitrogen, absorb different wavelengths of infrared. Infrared is not one distinct wavelength, it's a variety. Just like light is a range of wavelengths between about 400 and 750 nanometers, infrared is a range of wavelengths as well. And different bonds will absorb different wavelengths of infrared light and not let them through. Whatever is left over comes out the other end and is detected and analysed by a computer. And then we get a printout which has got some sort of graph on it, which is going to have some funny little symbols on it. Okay, and then if I straighten that out, it's going to look something like this. And these things here are called peaks, and they'll hit certain values on our x-axis that will relate to a particular chemical bond. And we're given a data sheet that tells us those, so we don't have to learn those off by heart. We're given that data already. So all we have to do is go, oh yeah, that's typical of a CH bond, for example, or a CC bond with only hydrogens bound to it. So this shows us that it's definitely got CH bonds and CC bonds in it. This one here though, oh, that's a CO double bond, for example, because our data sheet said so. And so we use our data sheet that we're given, which has got all of those bonds with different values on them. And we just match them up to the right one. And that helps us say, oh, it doesn't have nitrogen, for example, or it does have nitrogen. It does have oxygen, or it doesn't. Oh, it's an alcohol, for example, because they have got some special characteristics. Okay? So infrared helps us identify, its role is identifying what are called functional groups. That is why we learn about infrared.